Springdale 240BH, as in Harriet, here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is a new floor plan on East Coast production. It's been built out west for a few years, and I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be a love-hate thing. They did something with the furniture inside that either people are going to look at and say, oh, I like how they looked at that differently, or they're going to look at it and go, it's not what I expect. It's different. I don't like it, because people don't always do well with change. So I think that we're going to see, I think it's going to be a successful floor plan, but I think you're going to see people either look at it and go, oh, that's great, or oh, it's not. Now, if at any point you do like what you see here and you're curious about things like tank capacities and obviously the price tag and important stuff like that, I'll leave you a link down here in the video description for you YouTubers that says check for price and availability. Click that, it'll whisk you away through the magic of the interwebs that Al Gore was kind enough to invent for us. And it'll answer all those easy but important questions for you. So, Springdale is the #1 selling thing from Keystone, period. It is and has been a top 5 brand for well over a decade now. And, you know, the question is, you know, how? Why? How did it get there? Why does it continue to stay there? Why is it so popular? You hear a lot about the Cougars and Montanas, but Springdale sells more than those two combined. It's the unsung hero and the infantry soldier of the Keystone military, metaphorically speaking. It kind of starts up front here. We've got this smooth aluminum front here. Rather than fiberglass, it's a painted aluminum that's not going to fade when exposed to sun, and because of the rigidity of the extra thick aluminum up front, it'll help with you know, not being buckled in from headwinds, and the whole thing's basically a stone deflector. There's a lot of small things, and unfortunately a lot of them are imperceptible on a Springdale. Structurally, in this class, this is quite possibly the best built trailer in its class, and that's a really big statement to say, because there are more trailers in this class now than ever before. But as I go through this, I'm going to point out the little construction differences that they've applied to this product to make it last longer, to make it have higher resale, lower maintenance, things like that. Those are good things. You want it to be worth more when you're done, and you don't want to have to work on it, do you? If those things sound attractive, then stay tuned. Now, a lot of brands have power awnings, power tongue jacks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about those, or the bigger 30-pound propane tanks. You can go 50% longer between refills on those. Those are all cool features. Power awning is easy tilt adjustable, and you can leave it tilted and roll the awning in, which is kind of nice. That is a handy thing. I do like to point out power stabilizer jacks when I see them. This is a very nice little bunkhouse. We get a lot of grandparents looking for an easy to set up camper. I can't think of something easier than this. Everything is push button. Awning, jacks, tongue jack, everything. Now, Springdale's, they have this thing called their Arctic package. But what does that mean, Arctic package? In short, it's a 3-stage process. First, they enclose the underbelly. Second, they force air heat the underbelly. That's standard, by the way. Third, they have a larger furnace. Industry standard in this class is a 25,000 BTU furnace. This is a 30. So they have the extra oomph on the furnace to push that hot air down into the underbelly while maintaining good cabin temperature. In this class, you don't always find UV tinted windows. That enhances your privacy and keeps the RV cooler inside, because you're knocking down 80% of solar radiation. In this class, you don't always get airflow windows on the sides of the slide out. Now, the furniture change that they made inside is what allows them to have these big windows, 5th wheel size windows over here. Springdale, like a laminated ultralight, like say their Keystone or their Cougar cousins, they ride on wide stance stability axles, and they work. Those things provide superior enhanced stability at higher speeds during towing. So the trailer's less inclined to wiggle, and it's less inclined to bounce behind you because of the axles being set further apart. The best way I can describe it is real simply, imagine your feet are close apart, and now somebody pushes you. You're going to fall. Now imagine your feet are shoulder width apart and somebody pushes you. You're a lot more stable. It's just that simple. Black tank flush, outside shower, those things are, you know, fairly self-explanatory, so we're going to keep moving on. They have recently, at the time of this filming at least, changed up their outside kitchen. They're now dubbing it the outside entertainment. So here's what that entails. Your TV that comes with it inside is on a swing arm. The whole thing, the swing arm, the TV, everything dismounts and remounts out here directly below your big patio power awning. So that whole TV can come out here and twist around to face however you need it to. And I do like that they mounted it where the door's not going to hit it, because somebody at Springdale has a brain. Thank you, Scarecrow. Now, this is a little different, but it's actually very, very functional, and you got to take a look at it here. So, if you want, you can throw a grill on the back bumper. They've got it all prepped and ready for that. We've got our outside mini fridge over here, the college kid size, low profile. This low profile outside kitchen has proven itself hyper successful, especially in lightweights and bunkhouses, because you can still have all the bunk space inside without losing anything inside. That's the cool part about it. This slips and hides under the bunks. So we got Dad's medicine cabinet over here for the barley pop and a couple bottles of water. And by moving the drawers up here, they were able to give you some good drawer space outside. Usually you were lucky if you got anything outside. And you'll also notice, again, a construction item, these are wood box constructed drawers. They're not, you know, particle board with a sticker wrap. It's just stuff that's going to hold up to use and abuse. And I like how they have this little slide out, little prep space here, utility space, perfect place to set a drink. Oh man, you know, I just realized you could have pancake country out here and set up an electric griddle. That would be awesome. Now, for water sources, that's what this little guy is. It's sort of like another outside shower in a sense. It's a little, you know, disconnect water hose thing here. But you notice it has a very residential end on it. So if you want to hook up any kind of normal hose or sprayer to it or something, you can. That's a really neat thing that they put on here. Let's talk some structure stuff here. We've got a double arched roof, 6-inch arched inside and outside. Springdale is the only conventionally built trailer with a 6-inch barreled interior roof. You normally see that only in the area of laminated trailers. Keystone actually is the one that invented that. They're the reason you find it so prolifically in the RV business today. Anywhere where like the wall meets the roof, or the wall meets the floor, or the back wall meets the side wall, this is hurricane banded. There's extra aluminum straps that they put on, and it's just like an extra grip to keep everything held together. That's a big structural item. You know why they call them hurricane bands? Because you use them in home construction in hurricane country. So why would they put that on a travel trailer? Because it goes through hurricane force winds literally every time you tow it. If you heard on the news 70-mile-an-hour winds with 140-mile-an-hour gusts, you'd be like, oh my God, those poor people. Well, guess what? That's what your trailer goes through every time you tow it, with a 4 on the Richter scale earthquake bouncing around inside of it. Simultaneous earthquake hurricane. That's why they bulk up the construction. Now, this floor plan, it has a completely seamless 5/8 floor deck. It's a material called Dynaspan. It is 50% stronger than plywood across the span. You can leave it in a bathtub full of water for a month and it won't deteriorate because the glues and the resins in it basically are that strong. It's the same flooring they use in Montana luxury fifth wheels, which is currently the #1 selling fifth wheel on the market, period, and #1 in its class for, I don't even remember, 14, 15 years, some ridiculous number like that. Friction hinge door as well, so it's not going to slam open on you when the kids fling it open. Let's talk entry steps. I forgot about that. This is a, I don't know if they're the only ones in a conventionally constructed trailer doing this. They're just about the only ones, though. This is, again, a fifth wheel feature you're seeing in a travel trailer here. So, they're lighter. The aluminum's lighter than steel. Because of the grip pattern on them, they're less slippery. They're less susceptible to corrosion. And something I thought about the other day is they're brighter. You can literally see them more easily at night. That's, you know, that seems like, oh, you're being a tricky salesman now. Go camping at night and, you know, look at those black steel steps and tell me how easy it is to see those at night. Because it ain't. It is not easy to see them at night. There are different interior decor options available with any Springdale. This one that we happen to be looking at currently, which could be different from what we have in stock, this is called Kona, which, by the way, is Hawaiian for lady. So you treat her right. You got that? She's a lady! Ugh, too early for singing. I don't even know where that came from. Anyway, so this is where this floor plan is going to be hyper polarizing to people. people, you know, in the Midwest, we've seen this floor plan for years now, and it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's a smaller bunkhouse with tons of sleeping space. We got the slide out for all the maneuvering room. However, we're used to seeing this with a big horseshoe dinette or some kind of dinette. And they looked at it and said, what if we just did it different? What if we gave it more of a nice living room feel? How can we accomplish that? And I think they did a nice job here. It took me a little bit to come to grips with it. Like a lot of people, I'm not always super receptive to change. But working in this business, I don't have a choice. So I had to decide, is it something I can actually enjoy? And the more I thought about it, and the more, what I did is I asked a couple of our techs to come out and say, hey, look at this real quick. What's your knee-jerk opinion? I said, I like that. I like that it's different because I've already got, you know, plenty of sleeping space up here. You know, I like that I have more of a nice sitting space in the living room. Now, what they've done here is this is a full trifold memory foam hide-to-bed sleeper sofa. Again, a big fifth wheel trifold memory foam. But they went with big fifth wheel windows here because it's not a big bulky dinette. They could extend the windows down to the armrest level. Then I was looking and I started liking these little pockets on both sides of the hide-a-bed. Some people are going to look at that and argue it's wasted space. And, you know, to each their own. There's a reason they build so many different floor plans. There's not one that works for everybody. But I look at that, and I'm thinking, on a rainy day, that's the perfect place to, like, pull out the Monopoly boards and stuff like that. That's actually not, like, wasted space. It's just open function space. Something else, like, this comes with the Keystone Do More dinette, this free-floating elliptical base table. In case you're curious, it straps down to the sofa during transit so it doesn't bounce around. Or you could, there's a lot of different places you could store that. Anyway, something else you could do, instead of using this could go outside and become your picnic table, and you could easily hide a pair of like little residential slide-away TV trays over here. There's a lot of interesting things you can do, and I don't think any two people are ever going to use this floor plan the same way. So, this is the big different thing you've seen on this floor plan. The other thing is it's got a private bedroom instead of an open bedroom like a lot of little bunkhouses, but we'll get to that in a minute. So here's that 6-inch barreled ceiling. If you've seen my videos, you know I don't use camera tricks. I don't use bubble fisheye lenses because I don't have to lie to you to get you to buy here. I can give you good information and earn your business. You'll also notice a very nice LED lighting package. It's kind of gloomy and gray outside. It's actually drizzling a little bit, not enough to stop us from running the camera. But this extra, I mean, this is nice and bright inside. I don't even have all the lights on. There's extra kitchen lights over there. We'll kick over here. We typically build our Springdales with a little bit bigger air conditioner. Sometimes on a smaller camper, we don't feel the need necessarily to do that, so it all depends. You know, pretty functional bathroom. You've seen this 100 times before, but with the arch ceiling, which is 6'10" at the apex, by the way, and that skylight, this is a very tall person-friendly floor plan. Now let's talk construction again. Keystone is one of the few manufacturers that just across the board, they do the same thing in Montana, Cougar, here in the Springdale. They fully frame all interior doors. I mention that because you take that for granted. You expect that to be there because your house has it. RVs don't usually have that. You can't usually bang on door jambs like that in RVs because you'll punch your hand through just a false Luan wall panel. Usually Luan walls in RVs are here just for the aesthetic perception of separate rooms. You don't usually get 3-inch fully constructed frame doors that you can just lean on and grip on and yank on. You get that in a Springdale. What's nice, this door, even without the jacks down, like butter. Open, shut. Now, if that door jamb is holding square and it's connected to the roof and the walls and everything, that means everything else is working harder to stay, well, actually working less hard to stay square. That means less structural stress. That means less fastener stress. That means less seam stress, which means less leaks, less maintenance, less warranty, less worry. That's what I like about Springdale. Best thing about a Springdale is that they stay in your driveway and they don't come back to ours. That's my favorite thing about Keystone products in general. They really do an amazing job of performing well. We just don't have Keystone problems in general, and especially do not have Springdale problems. We carry the 3 top players in conventionally constructed travel trailers, and Springdales have the best service record at our store. That's impressive. The Adventure Package, which is one of the upgrade bundles we have on this Springdale currently, upgrades us to a 7 cubic foot refrigerator freezer instead of a standard 6. So you're getting a little extra cold storage capacity here for the family and kids. Now, normally, in a floor plan like this, you get the refrigerator right next to the stove. But Springdale shoved it over. And what that created was we got an extra overhead cabinet. We got extra countertop prep space with appliance outlets, so that's coffee maker central over there. And we're picking up a pair of extra kitchen drawers, not usually found in similar floor plans from other brands. The kitchen goodness continues as we look around and we see a dedicated space for wastebaskets, a normal fork, spoons, knives drawer, or utility drawer, or whatever, and there's actually additional drawer and storage space on the opposite side of this. There is no wasted space in this kitchen counter. A thing that Springdale does, I need 2 hands to demonstrate. I wish I had a free hand. But if you ever visit a dealership in person, I welcome you to ours. I call our dealership our dressing room. I don't expect you to buy it without trying it first. So, come out to our dressing room, try it on for size, and if you like it, let's get you fitted up. That's kind of the way I look at it. But anyway, take 2 hands and clap one on each side of this insert, and you can actually wiggle that up and down a little bit, because inside of this, they actually have small little Teflon glides. Why, you ask? Remember that rolling earthquake I told you about? That's one reason. But the bigger reason is heat expansion and contraction. This material, as it gets hot and cold, because RVs are not always climate controlled like your house. This is built like an RV, not like a house. It's built for inclement weather conditions that houses don't experience. So, as this material expands and contracts, this panel can float a little bit in here so that it doesn't split your cabinetry. Smarter! Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Springdale does that. My battery's dying. The lights are getting dim. TV obviously swings out, so you've got perfect viewing over here. It's an easy view swing out TV with no neck crank required. AM, FM, CD, DVD, Bluetooth player, you know, a lot of RVs have that. I love this entry area boot bench and shoe garage with a little coat hanging rack right there. And mom and dad up front, or grandpa and grandma, or whoever, dad and dad, mom and mom, I don't care. You have a very private front bedroom. And this is an area that bunkhouses usually fall short. Bunkhouses, by default, with the need to have all that extra construction to make room for bunks in the back, you have to extend the trailer. Well, to offset that, manufacturers will rob from Peter to pay Paul, and they'll make the bedrooms smaller. Well, that means you lose privacy. So Springdale said, no, we've already done a good job of keeping it small. Let's give the primary owners here back their nice bedroom privacy. Now we've got a little hidden laundry chute over here, so it's easy to keep things neat and tidy. Both sides of the bed have their little stands with outlets for running your breathing machines, for running your, or just even, with drawers, you know, phone chargers, drawers over here, socks, underwear, things like that. I'm sorry if I'm scatterbrained. I know I'm bouncing around. I'm more nasally than normal. I'm fighting off a Michigan head cold right now. TV hookups, by the way. So, you know, I'm a little off kilter, and I'm a little distracted from the medication. I got that floaty medicine head feeling going on. One other construction item I failed to discuss. I told you how this aluminum is thicker than that aluminum. You see that repeated one other place in the trailer, and that are these dark painted aluminum lower bands, and then you see these 2 thin bands up top. They make these extra thick, again, to fight heat expansion and contraction, and that's the exact same reason these 2 bands up here are shorter. You see how they're only about 6 inches, where this is like 18 inches? You see that one panel right there versus 2 small ones? This roof seam where it meets the wall is probably the most critical structure point on the entire trailer. So they make it so that this trailer is going to fight heat expansion and contraction. It's going to stay the same shape, same size, less maintenance, less worry, more function, more fun. It's kind of the whole idea of the adventure, guys. You're supposed to go out and enjoy it, not have to work on it. So if those things sound attractive to you, all I ask is you give us a call and allow us the opportunity to earn your business, because I don't care whether we ship it to you if you live in Timbuktu, or if a manufacturer shipped it to a local dealer. It still got shipped. It doesn't happen free, and we can quote it for you with or without shipping. The only thing you have to lose by not letting us quote an RV for you is thousands of dollars, and I mean that literally. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.